Hi, I'm Annette. This is Marianne, and we are co-owners of Nature's Plate, and we're back with another video. It is really hot in Dallas right now, like 100+ degree hot. So we want to talk about popsicles. We love frozen treats, and Marianne has been making these for a long time. They're truly whole food, plant-based, and delicious, but also very healthy with whole ingredients. So I'm going to turn it over to her, and she's going to walk us through how to make these popsicles.
So today we're making peanut butter chocolate popsicles. This recipe though is so versatile. You can switch out the ingredients however you want to. Basically, as long as you have the proper proportions of some fat, some sweetener, and some flavoring, you can make them however you want. I have made a million different kinds, and I actually don't usually even measure. I just throw the stuff in there because I've done it so many times, but we did measure everything out. So today we've got it ready to go. And that's going to show you the base of the recipe. We start with the liquid and with peanut butter, and then that's going to show you a really cool way to measure peanut butter so that you don't make a big mess.
So this works with any recipe where you need liquid and some kind of nut butter or anything that's really thick like that and hard to measure in a little measuring cup where you're trying to scoop it out. So you put your liquid in a measuring cup first. We need 1.5 cups of water, and we have that in this 2-cup capacity measuring cup. And then this is some peanut butter, just natural peanut butter. The only ingredients are peanuts and salt. And we are going to add it to the water until we have a total of 2 cups. And then we'll know that we have 1/2 cup of peanut butter. So once we get that, then we can add the whole thing to our Vitamix pitcher, and we will be ready to go. The natural peanut butter, just as another note, it does separate, as you probably know. And once you open it and stir it up, if you store it upside down, and especially in the refrigerator, that helps. Okay, so as you can see, it's a lot less messy than if you had put it in its own container.
So we've got that. So we've got the liquid and we've got the fat / there's also obviously flavoring in there. The sweetener is just dates. So the dates which is awesome because dates have lots of fiber and lots of nutrients, unlike just regular added sugar, which basically has not much of anything, if anything, in it that your body needs. So we're not using any added oil, we're not using any added sugar. The dates that we're using are these Deglet Noor dates, which are the least expensive. You can also use the medjool dates. They're just a little bit more expensive, so I prefer to get these and just soak them. So they'll come out and they look a little bit dry, but if you soak them in water for about 30 minutes, then they'll get super soft, and you can always go through and check to make sure they come pitted, but sometimes one will get by, so you always want to check and make sure that there's no pits in there before you put them in your Vitamix or your blender, because it could potentially break your blender. Okay, so we're going to put the dates in. Okay, so next we're going to put the cocoa powder in. You can also use like the raw cacao powder if you prefer that. I actually use that a lot at home, but up here we've got cocoa powder, so that's what we're using, and they taste almost the same. So we'll put that in, and then just a teaspoon of vanilla and the bananas. I'm putting bananas into this one. You can't really taste them, but they do add a little bit more sweetness, and they also just make it a little bit creamier, but you can totally leave them out if you don't want any banana flavor. I usually just throw them in because it's extra nutrients, and I'm always trying to get as many nutrients as possible into myself and my daughter. And then 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Again, this is optional. I just throw it in there because I like the little bit of saltiness brings out the sweet, and I like that. Put that. And it won't take very long because it's peanut butter. If you're blending up cashews, it'll take a little bit longer to get them nice and creamy. And of course, if you don't have a Vitamix, you're going to want to soak your cashews either overnight or for several hours, and then get them really, really dry before you use them. So I'm going to blend this up. And I'm going to scrape it down one time. Make sure all that cocoa powder's in there.
It smells good.
We're just going to pour it into our molds. I've got a couple of different molds here. These are my favorite just because they're metal, and so it's super easy to get the popsicles back out of here after they're frozen. You put them in water for literally like 1/2 second and they pop right out. There's different kinds of plastic molds too. I have a couple others that I've tried, And sometimes I use those, but really the metal just work better. These take a little longer, and sometimes your popsicles will start to melt. So I'm gonna do my best to pour this in here neatly. I'm not gonna pour them all, but I'll pour a couple. Just fill them up almost to the top, not quite to the top like I did that one, because it's gonna expand a little bit, the liquid is, as it freezes.
You could just get a spoon and take a little bit of that out.
You
and eat it
absolutely
now.
can, yes, because it's yummy. And then you put your little cap on here and put your stick in and pop it in the freezer, and you are good to go. About 4 hours and you'll have delicious popsicles. Annette and I are gonna try some.
We just happen to have some that are ready now.
That I made earlier. And so we'll try those out real quick and just show you what they look like.
So
and
is
how
this the same flavor as that one?
that is the same flavor. And then
This is raspberry?
yeah, so this is the chocolate peanut butter that we just made, and then that's got a raspberry one that I used cashews and
really
raspberry chia seed jam for that one.
It's so good and really creamy from the cashews.
Pretty yummy.
So we will post this recipe along with the video, and let us know what you think. We hope you try them.